Learn how to make a book in this step-by-step DIY bookmaking tutorial. Can you believe that this book was made by a cardboard box from my pantry? So exciting. Your handmade book could be a nature journal like mine, or it could be an art journal, a junk journal, or any other type of creative journaling project. Journal with me in this book tutorial and find out how this DIY book was made. Let's make a nature journal out of a cardboard box. You could say that this is an upcycled nature journal, since instead of recycling this stuffing box, I'm going to make it into a handmade book. This nature journal is special because it is for the Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Conference to take my notes for this year. If you are interested in checking out some of my notes from previous years, I'll link the videos in the description, as well as some of my other completed nature journal YouTube videos. The Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Conference is an online nature journal fiesta hosted by John Muir Laws and other nature journal educators. A nature journal is where you're observing nature and recording your experiences in a personalized journal. I'm cutting off the edges of this box. You can do this in any size. And of course, this doesn't have to be a nature journal. This can be a junk journal, an art journal, a scrapbook, glue book, you decide. I'm leaving the cover, front cover, back cover, the spine, and you can choose whether to cut off these tabs or glue them down for extra reinforcement. I will just cut off these end tabs today. My name's Kathleen Arola-Johnson, and thanks for subscribing to Creative Solace Studios. I just cut a cardstock because can you see how the spine is kind of bent? I want to reinforce that with cardstock, so I will be gluing that on the inside of the cardboard. I'll now recrease that spine. My style of nature journaling is mixed media. Paint, markers, collage, pockets. I like a junk journal mixed media style. So pockets, envelopes, tags, all the fun interactive things. After you've got your cover, choose your paper for the inside and cut it just a little bit smaller than the cover itself. Then I'm going to fold the white pages. I'm going to end up with 3 signatures or 3 groupings of bundles of white paper that are stitched together. However many pages you want, take those papers. You could have some be lined notebook papers if you want to take written notes in your journal, and fold them all in half. I'm now nestling these papers, book style, together in groups of 8. This is called a signature. I'll have 3 signatures and then stitch them into the journal like that. Before stitching these 3 signatures into the nature journal, let's talk about the cover. Yes, stovetop stuffing makes an interesting type of cover, but let's put some scrap paper on top of it, scrapbook paper on top of it. I'm looking to cut scrapbook paper with maybe a 1/2 inch or an inch margin around it so that I'll glue it on the front and then tuck it behind. This paper isn't big enough, but I really like it, so I'm going to use it in combination with another paper. For interest, I will tear one of the edges. That is not necessary, just interesting. And now I will glue the front cover onto the cardboard box. I'll use a contrasting paper to glue for the back cover. With the covers glued into place, I will cut off the corners. When you do this, it'll make it easier for you to fold the rest of these covers like so, and glue them down. I hope you're having fun making your own journal for nature journaling or other projects. Leave any questions in the comments. And also, if you've been to the Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Conference or other workshops or events with the nature journaling community, leave some inspiration in the comments. Let people know what you learned, what you like about nature journaling, or what you would like to know about nature journaling. Just working our cover into place. I'm just gonna spend a little bit making these creases and getting it all ready. Here's how it looks. So cute. I did end up with some bulkiness and creases along the spine because I put that thick cardstock in there, but I will just cover it up with papers later. Before we start putting the pages in there, let's make a template. It does help to do this. Cut a piece of scrap paper, the same rectangular size as the spine, and fold it in half the long way. Be as careful as you can when you're making those folds, and then one more time in the same direction. If you want to use the same kind of box again in the future, save this template. It will be handy to have. Then fold it in half in the other direction. And twice more. That's a lot of folds, but these will be your guidelines for where to punch the holes and stitch the stitches. Since this is hard to see the folds like that, I've drawn them on a second paper. You do not have to draw these lines. These lines are indicating where the folds are, and I thought it would just be easier for you to see this on camera. Same thing here. You might want to draw these dots, but you don't have to. These are where we will be punching the holes for the binding. As you notice, I'm skipping one row. So we will have 3, 6, 9, 12 hole punches. I'll be using a crocodile hole puncher and moving my paper cutter out of the way. It does help if you clip this onto here or use washi tape to secure it into place. Keeping it in place, I will be punching holes where those dots are. That is where the lines intersect. I'll get some washi tape to hold this template into place and finish those holes. Once you have finished that, this template was only temporary, and you can remove it. Then we'll be doing the same thing inside of the 3 signatures. See that middle hole? I'm placing it on the crease. My pages for the journal are a little shorter than the outside cover, and that's just fine. Time to punch these holes. It's nice to use this kind of a hole puncher because it has such a nice long arm that it can reach farther into the center of your book than a regular hole puncher. You can also use a Japanese screw punch or an awl, but if you try to do this just with a needle, a sewing needle, it can be hard to go through those. And you know what? I've done this mistake before. I got so busy getting into what I was doing that I punched all 3 holes. One of these signatures is supposed to be using the left-hand holes, second one using the middle ones, third one using the right ones. So I've got extra holes in here. As you can tell, I am pretty flexible about journal making because it's supposed to be fun and not worried about perfection, but keep in mind that I have extra holes. So I am lining up this middle column of holes with the holes in the book, the binding. I've got some really pretty book binding thread, the waxy thread, and an embroidery needle. Embroidery needles are just a little bit bigger than sewing needles. I'll measure this 3 times the height of the book, and then just go a little extra for fun and cut it off. Next up is threading the needle, which can be easier with this waxy kind of thread, but you could use embroidery floss, embroidery thread for this as well. Let's go through that middle hole that I was talking about and the middle hole of the cardboard box. Starting on the inside of the book, threading our needle through the middle hole on the outside, then just in and out, stitching a running stitch in those middle holes. Sometimes it helps to peek in there and see what's happening. There you go. Now I'm going to go back through them, going up the spine of the book. Pulling it tight, but not so tight. We don't want to rip something. And, you know, as long as I have those extra holes in there, it might be interesting to tie some yarn out of them or something interesting. Oh, well. That's it for sewing this signature. Going with a double knot. And I am pulling this part kind of tight because we don't want the pages of the book hanging out loose. If they get that way, the book doesn't stay together too well. And you can leave these long or you can trim them shorter. Next up is doing the same thing with the other two signatures. This one in the left-hand holes, and this one in the right-hand holes. And that will be a nice chunky journal. I'll be right back. I've decided to cover up some of those holes with washi tape because, yes, they were bothering me, but this is something that I'm enjoying. I'm having fun. I'm making it work. I hope I am inspiring you with showing examples of these things happen, and you can still make great, fun, and functional art. Now that my side venture into the washi tape is complete on that middle signature, I decided to add some to the inside covers as well. The pug is snoring in the background. Have you been hearing him? This is life. This is junk journaling. Love it. Washi tape is so pretty with the colors, the metallics, the patterns. It's an easy way to add a little pizzazz to a page. This nature journal is still in progress, but you can see the cover, the spine, and now you know what kind of a box is in here. Let's take just a quick look at a few of the pages. This is not finished yet. I'm still watching on replay some of the Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Conference videos, and when I finish it, I'll do a flip through of this junk journal style nature journal so you can see what's in all the pockets and the envelopes and the treasures of things that I've learned during the Wild Wonder Nature Journaling Conference. Thanks so much for learning how to make a handmade book with me, whether it's a nature journal, art journal, junk journal, or whatever you choose to make it. Thank you for spending creative time with me today.